Hey everybody, there's 9 people watching right now. I'm starting a little bit early this Patreon live stream number 2 for the month of May. I'm starting early because these live streams always seem to go a little bit longer than necessary, but it's necessary actually. We have a ton of questions. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching this on the playback because I didn't list this until about I don't know 12 hours ago. So for those of you joining me around the world, especially Jim, who's in the West Coast, meaning it's like midnight, thank you very much. The sooner we start, the better, I think, for people on the West Coast in the U.S. And there's a lot to talk about, actually. This is the second one of the month, and it's sort of a way to give some feedback, not just on your questions and answer those, but also give you some feedback on the way that this channel and the Patreon page is going. This is sort of like a report, and I've been wondering. Good morning, good morning. So I've been wondering what if I should keep putting in the total amount that we're taking in every month on Patreon. And for the time being, I think I'll keep it up for a little bit longer. But eventually, I think it's not about the amount of money that's coming in or the amount of patrons, but every 15th of the month, I think I'm going to be doing a Patreon report and giving you feedback on what the Patreon page and what I've been doing, so then you know how I'm not just getting the money from supporters, but also how I'm using it for the show. And I think that this report is might be very valuable as we go forward because we've passed the 1 year mark a couple months ago using Patreon, and it's been an incredible experience. In fact, Patreon is the biggest revenue for me for this channel, meaning I now rely very much on viewer support from patrons, and it's this that allows me to have the creative freedom to take my time and refuse sponsored jobs because there's a lot of companies and a lot of YouTubers now that are trying to get the message to viewers because I have 750,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. There's a lot of Japanese companies and American companies that want to bring a message to you, and they contact me like every day. There's several emails from people who want to sponsor a video to reach a message to those people, and I tell them no because my show is not about their message. It's about the message that I think is important about Japan, and only in Japan is special in the way that we present you history, culture, and more of a professional way to look at it rather than just me vlogging, which is the Only Japan Go channel, and yeah, that's a different story. But I think I said this in another live stream before when I did the postcard unboxing, which I sent them out, and you should be getting them next week for everybody in the postcard club, which is kind of exciting. Wait, let me see if do I have them? I think I have a couple of them right here. Where did I put them? Hold on a second. I got them here somewhere. Hey, Okapi's over there. I don't know if you can see him over there. What did I do with all those postcards? It's weird. Oh, here they are. Okay. Oh. I have a huge, well, they almost collapsed the phone. I have a ton of leftover postcards, mainly because I have to print a certain amount every month. This is the one that's coming your way with the message on the back. I sent out more postcards this month than I've ever sent in the past, and every month the postcard club is increasing, which is good because I think that a lot of people, well, for me, it's a way for me to share a piece of this series and a piece of the show to you by sending you something that's kind of cool. So this month is Kinkakuji, which is going to be on an episode of Only in Japan within the next couple of weeks. Alright, let's get down to it. I'm going to answer some of your questions, and then I'm going to be turning to the live stream. So if you took the time to write me a question, I'm going to answer that right now. So there's a bunch of questions here. Wow. So Crispy Cocoa Pop writes in, what's the Chinatown area like? In every city in the world, there is a Chinatown, and Japan is no exception. The most famous ones are in Kobe and in Yokohama. And the Yokohama one is the one that I go to the most, which isn't very often because there's good Chinese food just about everywhere. But the Chinese town in Yokohama is pretty cool. And if you're in Yokohama, it's one of the main attractions, actually. Same with Kobe. Kobe's Chinatown is pretty cool. It's unusual in the sense that it's China, but it's so different, and yet it's so China. But China is a country very close to Japan, so we have a lot of Chinese influence, especially in cuisine. Chinese food is very popular here in Japan. Ray from Sacramento, I believe. I know because I sent you the postcard. I remember saying, hey, there's Ray. Hi, John. I'm writing to tell you what I think the big surprise is. That's coming at the end, Ray. But I think that you will be great parents. I'm right. You will snail mail me one of your business cards. I beg. I have seen you giving them out now and then. Yeah, I have some business cards, but usually I do them for business. I guess this is sort of business. Dimitri, who visited last week, and I got a chance to talk with him. I think it was last Monday in Okachimachi. Dimitri, who was also in a live stream, he found me. He asked for a business card as well, and I didn't have any on me. The business cards I have to reprint and make some more. You know why? Because it says that I had 500,000 subscribers. Now that I have like 35% more or something, like it's a lot more. So I have to keep changing that number. I might as well just write 1 million and then just hold it for a month and then start passing that out, because it's hard to keep up with the numbers. We've been really fortunate to have, well, the channel's been fortunate to have an increase of subscribers. There's only like 110 videos, which is pretty, which is not normal. But I think if the story's good, that people will watch it more, and that's what I still believe that. So that's why I put a lot of extra time in the main channel stuff. All right. So thank you, Ray. Your postcard's coming, by the way. Britta and Heiko, awesome to meet you, Britta and Heiko. It was really great. Me and Peter and Joji made it out to Hibiya Park, where they were staying in Ginza, actually, which is a very close walk over to Hibiya Park. And we had a beer together, and they're from Germany, and they had a German Oktoberfest in Hibiya. That was pretty cool to like have Germans at a German festival in Tokyo. And we're all connected by the show. So it was pretty bizarre. They thought, actually, I think it was Brita who picked the beer, and it was extremely good, and I can't even remember what it was. Peter probably knows. I don't have such a good memory for beers, but Peter does. But thank you. Let me see here. If you show special places in your live stream, like Kinkakuji, for example, are you preparing yourself? Yes and no. Are you doing a script? Do you inform yourself first? This is really good. This is about the Only in Japan Go channel. For live streams, do I script them? The answer is no, but before we start the live stream, I will have a strategy in place, and if it's with Kevin or Peter or Jennifer or somebody, I'm going to say, we're going to go from here into here to here to here, talk about this, and then maybe we'll switch the topic here, and then we'll end here on this. The plan doesn't always go well. Peter likes to sometimes not stay on topic, and Jennifer sometimes, she'll go to another level. And Kevin's pretty good with staying on topic. He's a professional in that way. But yeah, Peter sees the entertainment in it, and I think that's good too. But also for people that aren't subscribers, and this is the thing that I'm talking with Peter about helping him to grow his channel. People that are subscribers love the content because they will love almost everything that you put out there because they're subscribers. Almost, I'm saying, because some of this stuff falls flat. But it's when you want to build a channel, you have to also remember your base of supporters, and you also have to find a way to connect and open it up with people who are not your supporters. And that's really hard for new YouTubers, I think, to get a grasp of that, to pick topics that are interesting to your base and then a larger audience. And I think Peter is getting the hang of it, and Jennifer's getting the hang of it. They're really good at providing content for their supporters, but they have to find a way to grow the base. If you're gonna make YouTube a job, you have to find a way to continuously bring in new people into your community, which is another reason why one of the goals this year for me, and this goes to Jim's question. Jim always has deep questions. What are some of the goals that I have for this year? I believe that's what it was. I think your question's at the end, Jim, but one of them was to have. I don't really have any financial goals. I think that patrons and support, they'll people will come and people will go. Some people will support for a couple of months, leave for a couple of months, and then come back for a couple of months. Some people come for 1 month and then they just go. Some people haven't even found the Patreon page yet, which is why I promote it sometimes. But my goal is not so much financial. We've passed the goal that I thought was possible, which was $4,000 a month, and now we're almost going to $5,000 a month. And everything after this is just a way for me to just continuously build the channel with more help now. And I think I'm going to make a new opening, which is an animated kind of fun opening to the show. Instead of the yukata and kimono coming through, we're going to make something new in animation. And this next month or in July, I'll be making a trip to an island again, like the Aogashima video, which was sponsored completely by Patreon support and the finances from that. I'll be making another one, but it's going to be a lot deeper, and I think it'll be further than Aogashima, if that's even possible, because Aogashima required a helicopter to get there. So this support is huge, and I'm putting it back into the show to travel. People have been asking that aren't supporters of Patreon, how do you travel so much? Where do you get the money to do that? And the answer is Patreon. And only in Japan, Go chats, the super chats. So this extra income allows me to travel freely using the Shinkansen or the planes or something like this. So it's important to know that the financial support is being used a lot. So thank you for that. Samantha, I also got a chance to meet last month. Hey John, I'm wondering if maybe you could make a video about working in Japan. The reason why is I'm going to be a nurse caregiver. All right. And keep thinking about my colleges in other countries to do jobs. I couldn't experience it myself because I can't move with my family to Japan. That's hard. It could be episodes with any job. This is just a thought for me. Understand? Thank you again. You know, Greg from My Life Life Where I'm From had a really good video on jobs, but I don't think he interviewed the best people about working in Japan. I think he interviewed people that were convenient for him to interview to make the episode, which is good, but he interviewed like people that I don't know. I thought it was a little bit disingenuous because he's partnering now with an agency, and the people that he interviewed are part of that agency. And he was sort of like promoting their stuff, like Chris Okano. That's okay to ask them, but they don't even have any real working experience in Japan. They've only been in Japan for a few years. I want to know like salarymen or actual nurses and doctors or people in different occupations. I think that's an episode I could do in the future, but his episode was pretty good and covered a lot of the bases, the basics of what it's like to work in Japan. But I don't think he went deep enough. So it's Britta, this is Samantha. This is really good topic. I'm not sure which profession I cover, but I'm really also interested in the medical care in Japan and comparing that with the way things are in the United States and then also in Europe. There's a lot of debate every year politically about this, and I think it would be good to shine a light on Japan because that's where I am and see a little bit about how they do healthcare. Deeper than other people, maybe starting by getting sick and seeing what my own experience would be like, because I've been sick a couple of times and my experiences in hospitals were very good in Japan, and some things of it is not good. So to talk about the pros and cons I think would be very valuable. But congratulations. if you got into a caregiving school next year, congratulations, Samantha. I think that's a really good profession and something that we need more of, people to be caregivers. So thank you, Jason. Hi, it's great to see the number of views of the older Only in Japan videos grows. Yes, the food ones seem to really have increased. Food is an emotion, Jason. It like really people connect with the food shows, so they're always going to do really big. Always going to be really big. Besides the fact that people like to eat, yes, what factors do you feel contributed to the popularity of Japanese food on a global scale? Having lived there for 20 years, I'm interested in your perspective and thoughts. Jason, this is really good, and I think this could be a really amazing Only in Japan Go stream, if not part of a bigger issue for the main channel. I think Japanese food was not 20 years ago when I first came to Japan. When we both did, it really was not big abroad, was it? I mean, sushi was something that was niche, like really niche. And now it's become very mainstream where I could find it now in the supermarkets and local towns and cities in the United States where people are eating. See, I wouldn't call what they're eating actual sushi, but it's their version of it. And the name sushi is Japanese, which is very interesting to me. And now I see more and more Japanese food. Well, one of the reasons for the popularity is because of how delicious it is. And as people discovered how good Japanese cuisine was and how natural it was, I think it was just natural for that to grow on the internet, because the internet, and this goes back, this has to be the root of it. The internet has spread a lot of really amazing things worldwide and created trends, of course, because it bridges Japan now to the rest of the world. 20 years ago when I came, we had dial-up. All right. Now we just have broadband and Wi-Fi signals, and everyone has access to it, and that means everyone has access to learning what Japanese food is. And the internet has played a really integral role to growing the popularity of Japanese food because it's just so beautiful. People can take pictures of Japanese food and it's like, wow. And then there's the taste. You taste it. There's that sense. It's really good. It's deep. It's got the umami or the sixth taste to it. And then there's just this sort of exclusivity about it. Japanese food is not the easiest food to find. And there was kind of an exclusivity where you had to search for it or be in like a group in order to really find authentic Japanese food. And even around the cities, it's hard to do that. But it's about the quality and the taste and the visual. And those are things that made French food very popular. But because Japanese food is not as well known as French food, I think that's the thing that's going to be booming and trending right now. And it might go like this. I don't know. New cuisines might come up, but right now, my take is that the internet has played a big role on it, because when people finally started to get the taste and the photos and the beauty of it, it just grew from there. And we'll see where it goes. But for now, it's a big deal. Nosh, thank you for the update on the time schedule. Deborah, maybe Only in Japan, not the Go channel. Something about homeless in Japan and how they're being helped, not the soup kitchens or the states. Or I guess this could be my question, if not a video. Are there homeless? There are homeless people in Japan. I saw one yesterday. People, why are they homeless? Because they don't have family. Usually people that are old or elderly are heavily dependent not on the state, but families to take care of them. And the same with homelessness. They've maybe embarrassed their family, or there's something mentally wrong and they can't find their family. The reason for the homelessness in Japan is different than that in the United States, and I'm not sure about other places. I can't really speak about that. But in Japan, you know, we also have a lot of respect for people's privacy, maybe too much so, in the sense that, look, if somebody's homeless on the street and they don't want the help, then you can't really do much about that. You can't force somebody to do something. After the tsunami, and this goes with personal belongings, after the tsunami came in Tohoku, the waves took cars into farm fields, okay? And the police and the government could not move those cars without the permission of the owner, because there's laws to respect personal property. And it's the same with people. You can't just, you know, you can't just take a homeless person and move them because against their will. It's really, really, it's different here. I I really don't know much about the topic, but once again, Life Where I'm From makes videos on these topics. I try to pick happier parts of the culture and make deeper, more historical meanings. I make the show from a different point of view. Like, I won't cover suicide. I'm not going to cover death. I'll cover life, okay? I'll cover the beauty of life. I won't cover the gruesomeness of death. And homelessness is a part of society that exists in Japan, not on the same scale, but it's not something that I really cover on the channel. I don't think that that's... there's other people who have channels who go to that side of society. I try to stay on the positive and the uniqueness of it. Thus the term only in Japan. Homelessness is not an issue that is only in Japan, but Japan has their own reasons for homelessness. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the best way for me to explain it. But I do appreciate the suggestion. It's these suggestions when they come in here, they will bring new suggestions in, so it's very helpful, Deborah. Joanne, welcome back from Cuba, by the way, Joanne. I haven't actually seen your pictures yet on your Instagram feed, but Joanne had a vacation in Cuba, and I remember following like the pictures when you were going to the airport. So I hope you're settling back in and over the jet lag. It's not too bad from Cuba, not like Japan, but welcome back and thank you very much. I wanted to say I go away for a couple of weeks. John, and the community has grown. Yes. So this is directly talking about your trip to Cuba. Congratulations and welcome to all the new members. And I want to welcome all the other new members that are joining the Only in Japan Patreon page. Thank you very much for the support. Deeply mean that. You're part of now a community that this is where I go to when I have questions, as well as when you have questions. I will try to answer directly. We have a direct mail option. Don't leave it in the comments or in the community. Go straight to direct mail, and I try to respond within 24 hours depending on my situation, sometimes within a couple of minutes. So, thank you, Joanne. Max, hi, John. My question is, besides J-pop, how do you find the music scene in Japan? Interesting. Do you have any Japanese artists that you listen to a lot or regularly? No. I'll tell you this, Max. I don't listen to a lot of music except royalty-free music. It's because this is music that I use in my own videos. And I'm very, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I'm a kind of guy that likes to listen to rock from the 1970s and 1980s because that's memories of my childhood. And my feeling right now, and jazz as well, and things from like a generation or 2 generations ago, I really love that kind of music. I love the history of music. I love classical music as well. Which is why I draw on that for some of the episodes, like the unboxing, when Peter was unboxing it. I had some really good classical music in there, if you know the name of that song. But I like to use that because it brings out emotion. And the only emotion in Japanese pop music, and this is why I'm really critical of it, it's like copy and paste of all the other songs with just changes in the lyrics. And it's the same emotion over and over and over again, just kind of an upbeat emotion. Whereas I think good music can draw emotions from different places. And when you buy a DVD or a record, I always wanted to have a positive. There would always be like Metallica had this Black album, and they had a Nothing Else Matters. I'm a Metallica fan, and they would, even though it was heavy metal and that was the genre that they're in, they were able to bring different emotions from their album rather than just heavy metal and, you know, like that beat. They were able to do it in different ways, and that's why that was their best album. I think that Japanese artists do not do that enough. I think it's about just selling, and it's the media part of it, not the artistry of it, and that's sort of a sad thing. I don't listen to J-pop. I never really did. I did because... Alright, I'll put it to you like this, Max, because I think this is really good. J-pop is unavoidable in Japan. Alright? Now, alright, Nosh is writing in here, go through the Patreon direct messaging if you're new to Patreon. If you want to contact me, direct message me, and I will respond, and I will get that message 100% because I check that all the time, like several times a day now. It's unavoidable, J-pop. But here's the thing. at certain periods of the year, the J-pop music, there'll be a hit song, and that song is everywhere. And this is sort of a cool thing, because you'll be in an izakaya and you'll hear this song. You'll be on the street and you'll hear this song. You'll be walking past a shop, you'll hear this song. You'll be, I don't know, shopping and you hear the song on your radio or on your iPod or whatever, your iPhone. That kind of is a memory in itself, and that song will jog a time in your life at this point. And there's a lot of Japanese pop songs, J-pop songs, that do that for me. Like in 1999 or 2000 or 2001, there were hit songs that I heard everywhere in that year. When I hear the song, it jogs my memory of that year. And that's sort of a cool thing, but I don't listen to a lot of music. I don't have time for it. And J-pop music is useless to me for the videos. J-pop music does not help me create. What it does is it's somebody else's creation that's just a copy-paste of everybody else's creations without creativity, and it's like mindless for the most part. In fact, a lot of music is like this. It's very rare to come out with a new sound. Right now it's all about, in the US, I just heard too much rap and not enough like new sounds. And you know, I don't mind rap, but it's not like in everything, and that's a little bit too much. You gotta have creativity. Phil, by the way, I want to just give a shout out to Phil. Phil is in Australia, and he gave me probably one of the greatest presents that I haven't used yet. It's an ability to travel with a huge discount. And I'm not going to say any more than that, but I want to thank Phil for that, and we're going to try that out. I called Phil yesterday. I left a message on his voicemail. I hope I get a chance to talk to Phil or meet Phil, because he's a very generous person and very, very kind. And guys, I don't know how far I want to go. I want to talk about this, Phil, but I appreciate very much you thinking about me. And yeah. For the next 6 months, Phil's going to be taking care of me in a way. But your question, what's your favorite month to travel around the countryside? Very easy. May, right now, is my favorite month because it's warm without the humidity, and it's not raining that much. And September and October are really great months, because once September 1st hits, it seems like the humidity just goes away. It's amazing like that. You can almost predict it. And those are the best times, Phil. A time when the weather is not too severe and there's a lot of natural beauty. November is good for autumn, and I would say come after the cherry blossoms, because it's still kind of cold in April when the cherry blossoms come, and the weather's like going like this, hot, cold, hot, cold. In May, it's like this. All right, and it's getting warmer and warmer. It's not as crowded as well. I love May. This is the best time of year by far. And maybe the first couple of days of June before the rainy season starts. Sort of officially, it starts June 10th every year. Let me see what else. Do you have any Japanese cherry blossoms versus autumn leaves? I like. Gosh, you know what? That's so hard. That is so hard. You know, I don't know. I like them both equally, Phil. I can't say if I had the cherry blossoms versus autumn leaves, or koyo, which we say in Japan, koyo, K-O-U-Y-O-U. It's very hard for me to say one or the other. Koyo seems to last longer. I don't know. I'm gonna say cherry blossoms by like a very little bit. Very little bit. Cold and snow versus heat and rain. I prefer heat without rain. I prefer heat without rain. No cold, no snow. Maybe a little bit. And if it's cold, it's better with snow. The best place to go in the summer is Nagano. I love Nagano in the summer. I have fond memories in Karuizawa because it's a lot cooler there. And Hokkaido is very nice in the summer as well. And in the winter, I don't like Tokyo. I want snow, so I will go up to Tohoku or some of the mountains. All right, great question, Phil. Lee Edwards, I am loving my trip so far. Lee's here for the next 2 weeks into my 5-week trip. I am flying to Okinawa for my last week before spending my last 2 days in Tokyo. My question is, have you ever been to Okinawa? Yes, I've been to Okinawa twice. And what would you recommend to do there? Go see Naha to the International Street, and then go to try some of the street food in Okinawa, and try as many things as possible. I love the ice cream. Blue Seal is the brand. It's like the Haagen-Dazs of Okinawa. It's awesome. They have some really unique flavors like Okinawan sugar and Okinawa cookie, which is a salty sweet sugar cookie. I love Blue Seal ice cream, and the beer is good down there, and the sake is okay, but it's a good experience. It's a different foods, seafood by far. And what would you recommend to do there? Okay, Ishinogaki is an island that I really like, and go to some of the smaller islands if you can, and get out of the main one where Naha is, if you can. I really like the islands. Would you like to meet before I go? Of course, if there's time. I've had, like, everybody who's visiting Japan who wants to, and this is not a complaint. It's just like I don't have time. Like tonight, I'm meeting a supporter who's been watching the channel since it started. All right, and I'm gonna see if he wants to bring the story on Instagram, but it's a pretty cool story, and he's been supporting the channel since I started, and he's here in Tokyo, and I'm having dinner with him and his wife, and it's very, very hard to do that because I would not have time to do anything else. I could just meet people, so I'm gonna try to accommodate people once a month meetups starting this summer, and it might be in Tokyo or it might be in another country. Philippines is really high on my list because we have so many supporters in Malaysia, in Singapore, in the United States, and like multiple cities in the United States. Love the United States because I'm American, of course, but 40% of our viewers are from the United States and Canada as well. So I gotta make my way to Canada and to the United Kingdom. I gotta get to United Kingdom again. My best friend Tom, who was in the wedding, he emigrated from the United States to London. He's now English because his mother was English, and he always had an English accent because he kind of grew up with that. But I think I'm gonna be going to the UK really soon, and to Germany, maybe this winter, to go to some of the European Christmas markets. Patreon allows me also a little bit of extra money to do trips to go and meet you also. And it's a way for me to relax and recharge, but also to travel, because I'd love to also visit the supporters in India this year, which I will definitely be doing. I think in November I'm planning this trip now. Yeah. Lee, let me know, man. Send me direct messages again, and when you're getting closer to come to Tokyo, it might not be for very long, but I would love to just say hi to you, Lee, because if you guys are supporters and you come into Japan, I want to be here to say hi to you if it's possible. So just keep letting me, never give up on it, and just keep asking me. Because I gotta make the show for everybody, because that's what you're supporting. You're supporting me to make the show. But if I can take some time out to say hi, I want to do it. And I think we're gonna try to find a home base where it's easy for me to get to, and I can just hang out with you there for a little bit. Okapi's right there in his position underneath the light. But yeah, that's it for the questions. If you have something live that you want to ask, Jim, if you're watching this, I think I might have sort of answered it. I gotta go. Actually, Jim, you're right. I can hear Jim going, "No! Go check out all the questions you just missed." Declan Heaton, John, I've been traveling to Japan in June. I was wondering if you can give some information about watching sumo in Sumida. I really don't know that much. There's a couple of stables that do it, but it's not as... You can go through tour companies that'll allow you to watch at the stables, but you have to do that separately. I'm not a tourist, so I don't actually do that, but I have been to many sumo matches. I think the best way to see sumo is to go to a sumo match. And I'm not really sure how you get tickets. Usually I'm gifted the tickets from somebody. But there are some stables in Ryogoku that you can see through the window and see them practicing, and those are pretty cool to go and experience. Sumo is a hard one, but it's something I think I might cover in an Only in Japan Go episode really soon. So Declan, thank you for that. Can you take a rain check on this answer? Let me dig in and see what I can find for this. It's a really good question. Oh, there's Jim's question. What do you hope to achieve by the end of this year? I hope to achieve for Patreon 500 supporters. That was my goal at the start of this year. We're almost there, but that's still going to be my goal. And you know, there was a little bit of pushback saying we don't want too many supporters on here. But here's the thing: the more supporters that are in only in Japan, it has nothing to. What I want to really do is to grow a community of people where there's no trolls. It's just kind of us, and we can put our photos and share our stories and support one another. So if you're traveling in Japan, you can go to the Patreon community page that we have and talk with other travelers and share stories, because a lot of the people that are supporting me are deeply interested in Japan, so much so that they are asking me questions. And when they come, I want to see more people post those pictures or leave something behind on the community page. We have a community tab up here, and I look at it every a few times a week. I want to say every day. See, there's a post from Amanda from Shinjuku. Amanda found this pedestrian crossing that I told her to go visit, which is the most unique view of Shinjuku that all the movies in Hollywood, they take B-roll or stock footage of there. And I can see that Amanda found that. And I like the community page. Don't ask me questions personally. I think direct mail is the best place to go for that. But if you ask in the community tab, you're going to be able to get a lot more feedback. And Amanda got 7 likes on that, so I can see that it's starting to grow a little bit, because I think it was just a couple of months ago that we had like the only one that was liking it was me, and we didn't know there was a community tab. When you become a supporter for the Only in Japan Patreon page, I think you're also getting, you're part of a community. That's the way I feel really strongly about that. That's what I want to build. That's why Patreon's really cool. So Jim, that's my goal. And you know, I told YouTube that I want to get to 1 million subscribers on the main channel by the end of the year too, and they were pretty receptive, and I think we'll be able to do that, Jim. But those are my only goals. My biggest goal is always going to be, what do I want to achieve, is happiness. I really want to just be happier, and so far this has been like amazing years for obvious reasons. Sunny, I hope it's good news. I'm gonna end with this with the news, okay? Matt Zool, me and my wife plan to move to Japan in late 2019. Awesome. She will be teaching at an international school, and I'm not sure what type of jobs I should be looking at. Any advice? Matt, if you can't speak, it depends if you can speak Japanese and you can't speak Japanese. If you have a visa or you don't have a visa. You know, if you can speak Japanese and you have the proper visa, then you can work just about anything. You know, whatever you want to work in. But if you don't, I would highly suggest just English teaching for a couple of months, or at least getting a contract to do that. And you don't have to finish out the entire year. Just, you know, do that until you get used to it, and then you can give notice, quit, and do something else. But that would be the easiest one. The easiest job to find. It just depends, Matt, on your Japanese level and your visa. But Gaijin Pod is one place you can start for looking for jobs. But LinkedIn is also a really big place to look for jobs directly from headhunters and people who are looking for this. Caroline's in here. I figured the news is they're really having a baby, or they're getting a car, or both. We'll keep it for the end. John, I want to thank you also for the support in the super chats and on YouTube. I like the comments. I like that you support not just on Patreon but inside it. And I know who you are. And before you ask, I will be doing a night run. I was gonna do it last night, a midnight snack run. The problem was that the places were closed that I wanted to go to. So I started doing research last night on places that are open 24 hours that I could potentially go to. Tsukiji Market and some places more by the ports are places that I think that are open because people are working there in the early morning hours. So they're a place where there's shifts. So I might go there for midnight snacks. I gotta get I also have to get a bicycle. If I have a bicycle, I can get to more places around the center of the city because I live now in central Tokyo. So John, thank you very much for the support. I know John didn't even ask a question, but I get a feeling he might be asking about the midnight snack runs. Eric, all right, there's just a couple more. Eric, hey John, I too see Only Japan Go and the Only Japan Pre in October. Please. P.S. Did you go on a midnight snack run yet? Eric, I just answered that. I will very soon. I will very soon. I'm just still kind of getting situated and learning the neighborhood. I knew my last neighborhood, Shinozaki, very well. NRT Go, my cousin lives in Kure near Hiroshima. Awesome. I used to live there for 2 years. It was like 20 years ago, 18 years ago, but it's an awesome city. He told me that there is very nice submarine and kaiten museum there. I think so. Will you be traveling to Hiroshima anytime soon? I will. And will you consider shooting a video of that museum for the Only Japan main channel? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that fits the big themes of it, but it's something that could be part of something bigger. A live stream would be wonderful. I can do that, but would love one of your main channel videos from there. I think I will do an Only Japan main channel video from Hiroshima one time this summer. I'm kind of sure what the theme's going to be, but I'm not ready to tell you yet. But NRT Go, you might get what you're asking for. So thank you very much for that suggestion. Brian, what are your favorite things to do in Tokyo in the winter? We'll be traveling in Japan in January. In winter, I like to stay warm. I like to go to onsen. Last winter, I put up a lot of videos with onsen, which is the ryokan, the Japanese traditional inns. Highly recommend you stay there, and if you like skiing, you can mix it up with that. You can do the same stuff that you do any time of the year. The days are shorter, so all I can say is onsen, Brian. I would love to see a detailed vlog about a night stay in a place like Shirakawa-go, preferably non-touristy season. The traditional side of Japan really attracts me. Also looking forward to your DVD. Also, although I couldn't do the support and I couldn't afford it, I will surely buy a DVD. Thank you very much, Pozel Lahiri. I'm going to be doing an announcement for the Kickstarter people who are supporting in that campaign within the next 24 hours. I will have the final product to everybody by the end of this at the end of this month or the first couple days of July. It's done. So thank you very much for asking about that. A detailed vlog about a night stay in a place. I think I kind of did that though. No, with the ryokan video. I don't know if it's at a night stay. I think it would yeah, I don't. You know what, Pozo? I think that the Japanese ryokan traditional inn video that I put up in January pretty much tells you that story. And I also had one with the ryokan and the bath time exposed, the naked truth. That was about in 2015. I think there's a stay at a ryokan there as well. And I just did one that was an hour long at a Japanese ryokan in Shinjuku on the Go channel. I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything this year with this, but there could be a possibility in the future. I've already done too much on ryokan, Japanese traditional inns, this year. There's so many other topics to cover, but I'll keep my this will stay on my radar. Okay, it's a good topic to cover. Christy Coco Pop, we answered that in the beginning. So thank you very much for those questions, and now you are free to ask me on the chats. Right now I'm looking straight at you. If there's any main channel videos about places for kids. John, there are, actually. Right now, are you talking about coming up? On the main channel, places for kids include the Retro Game Arcade, the Canned Food Restaurant, which is just so cool. The manga industry, that's a video that kids seem to enjoy. One Piece was in there. The manhole covers is sort of cool. The school lunch one You can actually go to the school lunch restaurant, which has been buzzing with tourists because the video has 2.5 million views. The Pikachu train that I did 2 years ago, the Pokemon Train Adventure, is a big attraction for kids. And that ice cream challenge in Nakano. I don't know, you can't see the thumbnail, but there's a tower ice cream. That's something I recommend that kids go to do. There's a cat cafe experience, which is fun for some kids, although you can't hug the cats. It's sort of neat to go to an owl cafe, although I don't agree with like having so many owls in the cafe. It was still a pretty cool experience for kids. Going to see Asimo at the Honda Welcome Plaza is a pretty neat experience for kids. And the Gachapon Kaikan, which is a place where you can get a bunch of capsule toys, was a really good experience for kids. So I got a bunch of stuff on that. I don't know if I'm going. So Pozo's writing in. Thank you very much for all viewers. Meets all my expectations. Thank you very much, Pozo, for the question. Mel Davies, my Brandon loved the Pikachu training episode. Yeah, I really loved making that one. It just had such a deep story. Shirakawa Go is so beautiful. Any year would be fine. Okay, so you know, Pozo, I'll let you know if I go up there for sure. It's a good topic. I think that it's the 30th anniversary at the Shizuoka circuit for the F1 this year. Okay, so Eric, that's a good heads up on that. If I go up to Shizuoka circuit, I will let you know. I have to research that. I don't know too much about it. Nosh writes in, keep the Patreon total public because it is sort of a motivator. It keeps the community excited. Abroad in Japan has over 2,600 patrons. Yeah, you know what? I don't compare myself with what any of the other creators do. We have our own type of style. What he does is different than the shows that I make. He has a team of people doing it, and I think he uses his Patreon money differently. I put it into my show differently. I use it differently. I think I keep it touched differently, but his totals are not public. You can't see the totals unless I guess you're followers of his. So you know, a lot of people don't write in how much, and I know it's a motivator for other people's, but it's also a turnoff for other people too. So it's hard. I think what motivates me right now is just seeing the community becoming more interactive and growing, and that it's a place that you can support me financially, which is absolutely needed because without it I would just shrink. But it's also a place where supporters can also support supporters. And it's now becoming a resource where people who have done it, have been to Japan, or are in Japan, can reach out to one another and share stories and experiences. Caroline came here to drink the green tea and to see carp, koi, and she had an amazing adventure where she went to so many different places. She's an asset in the community that you can talk to ask questions about. Amanda right now is still in Japan. She's somebody that you could in the community page message her and get like information right now about places where she's at. So it's kind of cool because these people are not YouTubers, but they're a part of this community, and they're just as it's just as important to get the community involved in that way, and then that adds value to everybody. And it's my job as a facilitator of this community to foster a place where everybody can come in and exchange information, and it's a good, honest place, I think, to do that. And right now we have almost 500 members, 500 supporters, and they're all really good people. Only one person I had to kick out, and they supported just to bother me. I don't know, I'm kind of going like this because it's weird. But yeah, it's different people, different objectives. But the 450 people that I have in here are really good supporters, and I don't ask for anything more than what I have. I'm just really fortunate, really blessed. I think really blessed to have the year that I've been having, the year that we've been having with this channel. It has just been incredible, and it's just all because. It's all because of my wife, but it's also because of you, because of the growth of this channel. No YouTube channel is, and no YouTuber is successful without an audience. You build a channel, you make content for not for yourself. You make content for the viewer. So every time I make a show, what I hear feedback wise and why I ask for feedback is because when I make the show, I kind of sculpt it for viewers, not for me. I try to make it fun. I add more information because I know this is something that would be valuable to you, the viewer, and that's always going to be my biggest objective. So Nosh is writing in time to tackle merchandising. You got that right. Can I have a T-shirt with OIJ on it? Phil, I'm actually going to be having all this stuff by if not not July, by the end of summer. We're gonna have a shop set up. My first priority is gonna be to get the DVD out to all the backers in that project, and when that's done, I have free reign to start something new. But you don't start something new until you've completed what you promised to do, and I have to finish that before I can move on to other things. It just makes sense, and from a trust point of view, it's just something that we have to do. But it will happen. I didn't go out and get a trademark. I didn't get my trademark registered for no reason. That cost me like a few $1,000s to get a trademark. So I could sell it. Koi farms around Niigata would be fun. Yeah, you know, Caroline, you're the one who got me turned on to carp and green tea, actually. So it's becoming more. Hey, Matsumi! And just officially with Caroline, it's becoming more and more interesting to me. So I think that we might, if we see a show on it, it'll be because Caroline told me a lot about that I didn't know. Matsumi, are you back? Have you tried camping at various campgrounds or lakes or other natural parks? Matsumi, I got a chance to meet her a couple of times when she was in Tokyo, and I know you went on the cruise. Has it already been 2 weeks? Are you back home? Wow, this is so cool. Yeah, so Caroline's giving me a hee hee. I could see her watching with your cats in the background. I have nothing in my house that can play a disc. Phil, you know what, Phil? You're like me, man, because I have my DVD players in a box, and this is what I use to burn DVDs if I need to, and I put it back in the box. I actually had to burn a DVD for a client because they asked for one. So we just got back. Oh, you just got back. Okay, well, welcome back. That was quite a trip, and I'm looking forward to the next visit to Japan. I actually Matsumi gave me K-cup coffee, and I have a K-cup maker, and I was in need of caffeination. Caffeination is that even a word? And the K-cup coffee, I've been drinking that, and it's really good. And thank you so much for that and the other stuff. Me and my wife really appreciate the kindness, and I got some coffee that I'm gonna be I got some gifts from people too, and I'm gonna be sharing those as well in the Only Japan Go channel. So thank you so much. I have a PS4, but I really don't watch. I'm not sure. Watch anything? Yeah. OIG thumb drive. You know, thumb drive would be interesting, huh? That's doable. All right, let's continue this. Let's continue this in the direct mail. So if you have an idea, send me a message, or if you have something for the community, I want you to leave a post in the community tab, because I think the more we get involved with that, the more we will check it. Finally, the biggest news that I was talking about. This is probably why Carolyn's still awake, right? Why everyone on the West Coast and in the U.S. is still awake, right? We're not having a baby, and I didn't buy a car. And it's not even that big, but we've decided to go. We're going on our honeymoon at the last part of June to July. It's not a super long trip. It's over a week, and we're going. I was thinking of going to the Philippines, to the islands there, or to Thailand, or to the Maldives. Maldives was ruled out because they have the monsoon season right now. Philippines is somewhere that I'm going to be going again later on in the year, I believe. And Thailand is someplace we're always going to go. But this time we decided to go to Bali. And we'll be going to Bali at the end of June until July. And then as soon as I get back from Bali, I'll be sending out the DVDs to everybody that have been supported the Kickstarter project. So it's going to be really cool like that. So while I'm away on the honeymoon, the DVDs will be printing. So it works out pretty good. So that was the big news. I don't know if it was big enough for you, but I see Caroline in here. Bali. So I got married in Bali. Judy saying, awesome. It is a super romantic place. Honeymoon in Bali, Jim. That's right. Bali's also pretty reasonably priced too. It's not that expensive, so that also played a big part in it. You could have a pretty luxurious trip for a reasonable amount of money, which I think is important. But Bali is the destination. I did book some really nice places. These aren't like budget hotels by any means. So I'm looking forward to sharing you that experience. The reason why Bali, because Peter put in my wife's mind the seed that Bali was the place, because he had just been there, and it grew, and it's now a place that she wanted to go to, a tropical island where the sea was, with a beautiful ocean, and I wanted to go to a place that just had a lot of nature, and yeah, it's only in Bali for 10 days, about 10 days, and yeah, you know what, I probably will make a video there, and I don't know if they'll be live, but I will share with you the experience on the Go channel, because go means go, and we'll be going, so go there to see the goat stuff. That last go was not necessary. Okay, so we've been on this for about an hour. Yeah, pre-recorded might be another option, Gordon. That might be what I do. I'll record it and do edited videos, or lightly edited videos for the Go channel, so it kind of remains authentic. But if I can take my drone with me and show you some really cool stuff, that would be a lot of fun. And the thing with Bali and Japan, another reason why I liked Bali was because the time difference is very, very reasonable. I think it's like an hour different. So there's no jet lag for us. And that means we don't have to recover for a week. Or if you've been in Japan, you know how bad the jet lag is. So we just go south and we're in Bali. Pozo, I will be sharing the experience with you. And if you're a Patreon supporter, I will be doing one of the question and answers. Some of the places have Wi-Fi, so I will do a question and answer. The second Q&A in June will be at a hotel in Bali, okay? So I'm taking you guys with me. That's also big news. In a way, you guys are coming with me on the honeymoon a little bit, and I think it's the best way to thank you for the support is to take you with me a little bit, sort of. Maybe not all the time, just some of the time, okay? We'll be able to share Bali a little bit on the road, which would be kind of fun. And I don't know if any of you have been to Bali. I promote Japan a lot because this is my home, but Bali seems like a really nice place, and it's pretty reasonably priced to get there. So there's that. That's the big news. If we do have kids, or this even bigger news comes, I will let you know, okay? But right now, I think from the advice that I've gotten from a lot of people is to start a family, first kind of enjoy the marriage a little bit and build some experiences together, and then the family will just start naturally. There's no reason to rush. I'm not getting any younger, but we have some time. So I think after I've established this channel a little bit more, and the Olympics are coming, and this is a big time for the channel, I think that will be a better time to start a family. But I think that's something that would be huge news, and I would share that with you for sure. So there you go, 1 hour Patreon live stream. Thanks again for the support, everybody. Leave me a question if you want in either the YouTube or in the Patreon feed, but definitely support the people that are writing comments in the Patreon community tab. Let me see if I can. I just touched my let me just show you what it looks like here. Turn it around. Here's the Patreon, and up here all of us have a there's a community tab. Do you see this? And if you see the community tab, Amanda posted just like right now, this morning, a really beautiful picture from Kamaishi, and this is where she's staying. She decided not to do Tokyo and Osaka and Kyoto and the typical tour, but stay in the countryside, and she's had an amazing time. And I'm digging that people are going in here and watching the community, and it's growing. Aziza is now in Tokyo, so hopefully get a chance to meet up. Ed is also there here. And yeah, it's a pretty cool place where people are now sharing their questions. And this is stuff. And John wrote a really shared a really amazing article too. I think you can see here about flying business class with miles for the price of economy. I believe that's ANA. It's deeply in ANA. So these kinds of tips and stuff, they're coming from you. And this is a place, a really happy place where we can share these kind of experiences. Oh, there's with Brita and Heiko. Oh man. So, and you can also share the photos that after we meet. It's pretty cool to share them here, because I want to see them too. Oh man, that looks so good. It's Amanda's okonomiyaki. And then Brita and Heiko had some. Oh, they went to Tetsu, where Peter and I went at Tokyo Dome, and they had some tsukemen. Awesome. Yeah. So you can share the photos in the Patreon. This is Patreon. See right there. And there's the posts that I do. And these are good too, because I want you to have information. But there's a place where you can share. And it's a community tab. And I want to see this grow. So Jim, that's another one of my goals, to grow the community tab. And it is growing. I mean, I'm loving the amount of content that we're building here. There's Lee saying Tokyo. Lee's here. So, yeah, definitely drop a picture, share an experience, and read what some of the other supporters have written. And support the supporters. That's like funny to say. Support the supporters, because that's what we do. When you have a community, you support one another, and that's the kind of place that I want to be a part of too. So thanks everybody for watching. Nosh, yes, I want to see a successful community as well. Thanks for watching this live stream. Thank you again for the support. I'm gonna say it every time because it's huge. I didn't know about Patreon until last year, but it has really changed the way that I make the show. They'll be back soon. Bye-bye.